So today I have a very exciting video. Since you've obviously read the title of it, you already know, but yes, I got my first tattoo. I've been wanting one for so long, and now that I've got one, I just keep forgetting that it's there, and then I'll see it in like the side of my vision and be like, oh yeah, that happened. I honestly didn't expect to be able to get one this early on in my life, especially since COVID was happening and everything was closed. Now, I know that making a video about getting a first tattoo is very common and there are so many videos out there like this, but I thought that I would make this video because I've been waiting to get a tattoo for a very long time, so I wanted to document this process so I could remember it. Also, while I was still doing my research for getting the tattoo, I was kind of freaking out because this obviously is my first time ever getting a tattoo, so I didn't really know what to expect. And what really helped me was watching other people getting their first tattoo as well, and just seeing the experience, because I feel like I just made it into such a big thing in my head, just imagining the pain, but once I saw it in real life, it didn't seem that bad anymore. So I thought that this video could reassure people getting their first tattoo that it's not as bad as you might think it is. So for this video, I thought that I would just go through the process of what I did to get the tattoo, starting from the beginning of finding my tattoo artist and then contacting them, as well as the actual process of the tattoo and what happened afterwards. So before I got this tattoo, I did follow a lot of tattoo artists on Instagram, but all of them were in other countries. I'm from Canada, if you don't know, and I couldn't really find any tattoo artists that I really liked before that were from here. So I had to start from scratch to find a tattoo artist. I thought that I would first find a tattoo studio that was reputable here in Toronto, because hygiene was definitely on the top of my list for priorities, especially because tattooing basically creates an open wound on your skin. So I wanted to make sure that the studio I went to was very hygienic and clean. So I think I looked at a blog.to article about the best tattoo studios in Toronto, and Chronic Ink, which is the one that I went with, was I think #1 on it. So I looked it up and it got really good reviews. So I went to Instagram and just browsed through their feed a bit until I found my tattoo artist. Their name is Jay, and their artwork just seriously caught my eye as soon as I scrolled past it, because their art is just so elegant and flowy and I just love their style so much, so I was like, I need to get a tattoo from this person. I was just really surprised that they were here in Canada, or based in Toronto especially, because like I said before, all of the tattoo artists that I like are never in Canada. So I thought I was so lucky to find a tattoo artist that I really loved that was local. If you have the time, I highly suggest you check them out on Instagram because their artwork is amazing. So once I found my tattoo artist, I got in contact with them, and originally I wanted to get a dragon tattoo, but I wanted it in a pretty discreet place, because even though workplaces and like professional settings are becoming more accepting of tattoos, I have a traditional Chinese family, so yeah. I just wanted it to be able to be covered up if needed or hidden, so I wanted to get it on my inner left bicep, but Jay came back to me and said that with their style I wouldn't be able to get a dragon that small because I wanted it to be around 2 by 4 inches, and that was too small. They said that the detail would get lost and they're just not comfortable doing pieces that small for that subject matter. So I had to rethink a bit, and eventually I came up with the idea of getting a cat instead, because I love cats. Cats are my favorite animal, and I thought, why not get that for my first tattoo? So I emailed them some reference photos of the type of cat that I wanted, and I drew a really rough sketch of the position. I cannot draw animals to save my life. It looked so bad, but somehow with her amazing illustration skills, she changed my terrible drawing into a very beautiful tattoo. So we just went back and forth a bit about the design and hashing out all the details for the appointment. All of this was happening around late December and January, and even though lockdown ended in around July or late June, and the tattoo studios were able to open again, I wasn't able to get an appointment during the summer because everyone back from like November 2020 had to be rescheduled, and all of the appointments were booked for the summer. So I contacted Jay telling them that I wouldn't be in Toronto after the summer, and if they could possibly squeeze me in somewhere before summer ended. And thankfully someone is looking out for me, because there was a free appointment on July 29th, I think, and that was because someone had cancelled with Jay. So I was seriously like, wow, everything is moving so fast now, because I didn't expect to get an appointment until December, but suddenly I would have a tattoo in 2 days because I learned about the appointment 2 days from the actual date that it was going to be. So obviously I was very excited to be getting the tattoo so much sooner than I expected, but also very nervous at the same time because I didn't expect to get it so soon. So at the time I wasn't mentally prepared, and I was just really panicking. Also because I hadn't told my parents that I was getting a tattoo. I know. But I was afraid that they would try and stop me, and I really wanted to get this tattoo. And I'm 18, so I was like, I don't need their permission technically, but the inner good Asian girl in me just couldn't handle it, and the day before I was supposed to get the tattoo, I broke and told them. Obviously it went over as well as you would expect it to. They were very mad at first because I had booked this in December and then hadn't said anything until the day before the appointment. So it was quite a shock to them. But thankfully they didn't yell as much as I thought they would, and they got over it pretty quickly. So I'm very grateful for that. And now they're very okay with me having a tattoo. After I told them, I actually felt a lot calmer, and I could concentrate on actually being excited for the appointment. So I'm currently heading down to the tattoo studio. It's around 10 a.m. right now, and my appointment's at 11, so I have to hurry. It's raining so much right now. So when I first got to the studio, Jay had printed out different sizes of the design so I could decide which size I liked. And once I picked a size, they printed out multiple copies of the stencil so that we could decide on placement. They let the stencil dry for around 10 minutes before they started tattooing. The actual tattooing process wasn't as painful as I thought it would be. It honestly felt a bit like someone dragging a mechanical pencil over my skin with a bit of force. The shading hurt a bit more than the line work because The line work was more of a continuous stroke on my skin, but the shading was done in short strokes, so I guess my skin didn't have time to get used to the feeling of the needle before the needle was lifting and then touching my skin again. I think part of the reason why the tattooing didn't hurt as much was because of the needle vibrations. I think that it just kind of distracted my skin from feeling the actual needle since there was so much happening at one time, so my skin couldn't really decide what to focus on. Jay was also super nice, and we were talking while they were tattooing me, so that really helped to distract me as well. If I'm being honest though, the part that hurt the most was probably when Jay wiped the tattoo to get rid of the excess ink and any blood. You'd be surprised how much that hurts. The skin in that area is already being poked repeatedly with a needle, so wiping the area with an abrasive towel doesn't really help. So after the tattoo was done, Jay put a band-aid on the tattoo called Saniderm, and 24 hours after my appointment I was supposed to remove the band-aid, which is what I'm doing right now. It actually hurt a lot more than I thought it would because it was really sticky and the part that had been tattooed was already sore, so pulling the skin wasn't fun. My skin also got pretty irritated by the band-aid, especially around the edges. As you can see on like the top part of the band-aid, there's like a red mark, and that was actually a line of blisters that had formed because the band-aid had been like shifting with my arm when I moved it, and it kept rubbing against the skin until those blisters formed, and I didn't really help it by itching the area because it was super itchy, especially around the edges. So I was pretty happy to take off the band-aid. I took off the second piece of Saniderm, I was supposed to wash the tattoo twice a day and moisturize it after drying it. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's been around 2 weeks since I got the tattoo. It's healing pretty well, I'd say. And I'll show you what it looks like now. So that's pretty much it for my first experience of getting a tattoo. I cannot wait to get more tattoos. I'm sorry, Mom, but I really want more tattoos and I just have so many ideas for them. but I have to stop myself because I don't have the money right now. But in the future, I will definitely be getting more tattoos, and I'm very excited about that. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble about my first tattoo experience, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!